Okay, there's many reasons why at 15 months the mouth can be open, the tongue's hanging out. It usually suggests genetics, usually. I'm not saying all the time, but that's something you need to roll out, especially since you have low tone. Supposing that oxygen was given at birth because of the amniotic fluid, it also can suggest genetic issues, not just that the amniotic fluid was a problem. But what can also happen is, and I'm going to pop up another thing about infection and fluid dynamics, is that the amniotic fluid being tainted could have added to heaviness within the body and swelling, especially if he breathed it in, similar to that of an infection. And that's also going to affect muscle tone and development because of the changes in fluid dynamics within the body. But as I've said it before, anyone that's had oxygen therapy, now you don't mention intubation, but intubation could be one of the first things that can cause open mouths. 1 second. Abs, how are you? So when you have intubation, what can happen is, and cannulation too, but it's quite, and they place the tubing down and you can get the hang because there's been a stress on the nerves or the mouth area. So it's something to be looked at, TMJ, all of that. And then also what needs to be looked at, again, is genetics. There are a lot of genetics that pose an open mouth, but it's usually a vestibular. But when I go to stand up, and we can all do this, and you open your mouth, different organization, as you can see, it also stops me talking because the mouth is engaged. The jaw is meant to draw. That's I was working on this today. This is swinging. This is going over a bicycle. The jaw is present, the hyoid bone, all of that is part of your milestones. And when the jaw is hanging, and it also causes really big midline interruptions. So another way of looking at it, if I'm sitting back and I just lean a little bit forward, you can feel the muscles hang. So you really have to watch it when you're doing therapies that are trying to make strength happen. This isn't about strength, this is about structure. If you don't have the structure for movement, you're not going to be strong enough because you don't have the structure, not because you don't have the muscles, right? So someone really has to be doing, lessons on the skeletal system on that, and also be working, that you're ruling out genetics on that could be. But even oxygen at birth, if it wasn't intubation, that's what can happen too, is the cannulation comes into the nose, wraps around, and there's tape. And so lots of times you see kids that are sort of like this because the tape has been there. And that's where, you do the swallow course and all of that. And I've already done the thing on the show on midlines, but really concentrate within that course, the midline crossings, to make that movement or those movements within the facial bones much more available, and see it that's drawing up the mouth, because the mouth isn't the problem, the mouth is a stress. So that's not the cause. I know it's there, but that's not the cause. Right? And so that's where you have to work around it. But just sitting there and say, close your mouth, that doesn't make functional movement. And he's too young for those kind of prompts anyway. And that's where you need to really be working on, is the swallow course. Thanks.